Hi, living in Boulder vlog, February 10th for the day of Wednesday at 10:19 p.m. I was thinking about doing my video in the morning when I went to sleep, but I realized I would have been too tired. I worked pretty much until I fell asleep. I don't remember what time it was, but I got up not so long before it got dark. Yesterday I started the day working on my roads. And then I was building Eldora. I built all the ski resorts in Colorado, but I only did the just the lines to identify the information of the runs and then where they are, but I didn't draw in the width of them, which looks cooler. Makes it illustrates what it looks like better. Looks more like a trail map. So I decided I'd do that with Eldora because I didn't do that with one, and I want to know what it looked like, and I want to do everything in Boulder County to the utmost of detail is what I'm doing right now. Prepping it for the history of Boulder and Boulder Rum, where I build rum on Boulder. But I wanted to have all the roads there because it's for bikers. So I then built all of Eldora, including the lifts. I built the lifts, and including the towers and then the top part with the polygon tool and the line tool. I could have done it better job. I just traced it for the cable when I could have just clicked it on the different towers. It would have looked more realistic. I did that on the last one because that's how I was doing it with my big ski resort, fantasy ski resort in Rocky Mountain National Park. But I built the Eldora that the future Eldora, because they're going to add they're going to increase it like 100 acres or something, but mainly what they're going to do is cut more trails and through the trees and add more lifts. So I drew in the lifts like 3D. There's a new one on the north-south side, and then they're building 2 on the back side, and then 1 to get you to the back side. So 4 more lifts. And a bunch more trails. It's going to be cool. So that took a while, but it looks good. I might fiddle with the colors. You can't really see the topsail lifts so much. I made them black, and then I made the top gray. But it looks good on it's like a natural color, and it looks good on the snow. But after that, I did a little bit more tracing. I did like 1 more trace of a trail up a canyon that's not even a trail. It's like a canyon that nobody goes up. So I kind of had to forge my own trail from like Lake Granby to the mountains, Navajo Peak or something like that. So I did that. That took a kind of a while, and I started to get a little bit tired, worn out. So I, at that point, I started working on, because I was going to work on that until the end of the week. But there, this is kind of in conjunction with the plugging project. So I decided to just kind of take a break from the roads. I saved it, and then I brought up my ground cover project, and that's how I finished the day. And that's why I worked until I passed out, because I found it interesting, and I kept doing it. And then I just got to the point where my brain started to shut down. That's one thing I know when I need to stop working, is when my IQ goes down and I start making mistakes. So then I just went to sleep. Yeah, I fell right to sleep. It was great. Slept all day. So plugging the ground, which looks good. As I do it more, I kind of realize the first time I did it was too gross. It was too not detailed enough. So I had to before I did this video, I deleted a bunch of ones that I put on Boulder. I got this one screen capture of the dirt, and then I expanded it really big. And I'm looking at it on Boulder, and I 3D'd the trees, which is a new feature on Google Earth, where you can 3D just the trees and not the buildings, which is awesome because that means you can, you can build whatever you want and not have to worry about like some kind of ancient fantasy, whatever, historical thing, and not have to worry about the modern day roads. You just plug it with an image. So I zoomed down, I'm looking at the trees, on the side of the hill, and the ground wasn't pixelated enough. It just didn't look realistic. So I tried this other group, dirt, which is about real size screen capture, real life size, and I looked at it and it looked way better. So now what I'm doing is just patching it all over Boulder. I have to do a lot of them in these little squares next to each other. They're like, I think 30 acres each. The original are 38 acres. I forgot to write down the acreage when I screen captured it. That's what I do, but so yeah, that's gonna look cool, and that's what I'm doing now. And before that, I was doing lions with these little patches of just like because as I go along, I get more different types of patches. There's the one with sparsely trees, and then no trees, and then. And but like and then when I look at it, I'm gonna of course have to organize it how I want it so that when you unpatch and patch, it's easy. Like because when I build the Kingdom of Rome and stuff and Republic of Rome on Boulder, I'm gonna have to increase the population, and I can increase the population by relieving patches, exposing real life like mansions, and just turning those into Roman villas and stuff like that. So, but I haven't really organized that well, organize as you go along. But also, yeah, all the different kinds of patches. If I have the wrong patch, all I have to do is just replace it with another one, and it stays the same shape and location. So it's kind of like, but I could tell after the first few hours, because it was only like the last couple hours or half of yesterday, where I was doing this, I could tell that it's a lot quicker it's a lot less tedious than building those roads. Those roads is time consuming. And this goes by quicker. So if I just do this for a few days, maybe I can get done. But it is, time consuming. Because I'm doing it like kind of like per house, per couple of houses for the entirety, not just Boulder County, but I think everything that I'm doing, the whole territory that I'm doing the roads for, I think is probably what I'll end up doing, because it's 1 day's ride from Boulder, and when I'm looking at this stuff on Google Earth, I should include, the ground cover looking au naturel also. I'm also plugging up mines and stuff like that, but not historical mines. I'm going to keep all the historical mines exposed, and if I do plug them up, I'll just plug them up in their own folder. But because what I did before with my website is I paired all the 30 cities of cities of ancient Rome, ancient Latium, the Roman kingdom, before Rome took over the independent city-states, towns. Roman kingdom was the same size as Boulder County, and there's 30 of them. There's like 30 mining towns within Boulder County, so it matches perfectly. So I matched them together, and so if I was going to match them with mining towns, I might as well, in my story, in my head, include the mines, because that's part of the mining town, You get an idea of how big the mine is. So I might have accidentally, plugged some mines, so I'll go and make sure I didn't do that. But I'm trying to not plug the roads, even though I trace the roads over, and I just have to go click, and you see the roads on top. I like to have the roads unplugged, as well as rivers and ditches, but it's all within a balance, because if I'm too much of a perfectionist, it's like a month down the drain. I can't work on this for a month. I can only do it for maybe a max of a week. So, but yeah, and then I'll go back on the roads, and maybe I have another week or something on the roads. And once the roads and the patching of the ground are done, I can bounce. I'm going to go off and do other stuff, like my website, or like finish the photos of ancient Boulder. But and then when I come back, it'll be ready to build, historical Boulder and Boulder Rome on that, because I'll be ready, and I'm really looking forward to what it looks like. It's fascinating to look like now. It looks realistic, natural. Alrighty, talk to you tomorrow.